Welcome back, wannabe rulers. Yes, wouldn't we all want to rule the Middle Ages community? Be the manor, be the lord of the manor. Well, here's your chance to do so. We're playing Manor Lords, and this may be better than actually being a real Manor Lord. It's a lot less smelly, people. And we have indoor plumbing; they don't. We have electricity, and they don't. Guess they had lightning, but short of lightning, very, very frightening. Um, Short of that, we are doing much better than they are, and I would probably, however cool it would be to be a lord of the manor. Okay, so they're still winnowing out a bunch of grain, but we're going to reduce that down. Number of people working there. That's almost done. That's fine. We're going to also, well, we're upgrading a bunch of these houses. We'll let that happen. We're also going to come over here, livestock. No, advanced. We're going to reduce down because we're not using the light to either plow or to bring in wheat from the field. Inventory is full somewhere. Generic full storage is full somewhere. Okay, I don't know. This log storage here is full, yes. Let's add some tanner there. Okay, I think we've got some of our upgrades are getting done. Let's go to a small stable instead of just a hitching post. How many assets? Okay, we've got 10. So, we're going to go no import or no trade, actually. $30, just because we are going to maybe doing some more upgrades to buildings that require it. You know, we haven't done this one yet. So, our sheep will not increase, but we will be getting wool here, which we obviously have. So, what we're going to do, and then wool will be taken, which we have 11 here already. See how big it is. I think it's under industry here. Yeah, weaver's shop. Yeah, let's put it there. And now we have that. We're going to order another oxen. I don't think, let's slow this up a bit. We don't need to quite stop it. But, add one to there. We've got people serving there. Communal oven, let's get that back baking again. How are we doing on Malthouse on that? Okay. We're doing okay there. Oh, no, I don't. I keep getting one to click there, also click it off. Okay, so now we need to get more level 2. We get this to level 3. Oh, we already started. There's really more. Oh, that is level 3. Okay. Yeah. We do have the potential problem of tavern supply, but hopefully we'll have enough beer and things. We get to get apples. I know we will. I do believe, unless there's a bug. I thought we should be already getting some from this. What is this? Is oh, I should have turned this to orchards a long time ago. Well, I guess we're going to add this to our orchard plant, our thing here, which will be a long time. Okay, and 5 months of fuel. So we've got this over here. Let's add another guy working over here on that. That should be fairly good. Balanced out. Okay, they're almost done here with the winnowing. They're almost done with the winnowing there. Let's go down to 1. We can start up the okay, we got a lot going on. Did we ever get to say yeah, I think we're still waiting on the other one to come in. Sometimes you can see it wandering in from way out here somewhere. Before it gets here, I don't know. One more. So we'll be here someday. Ah, hello, I haven't been paying attention to Rumble yet. Hello, long branched. The screen edge is kind of hard to watch. Beautiful looking game. Hey there, can you pan without moving the screen to the edge? Yes, you can do sort of this if it's what you're talking about. Sorry if you've been waiting for a response here. So you can do this. You know, look around here. I sort of now sometimes when it saves, it sort of does a weird jerky thing, I know. But yeah, it is a beautiful looking game. And as games go, it is fairly historically accurate. Oh, can you WASD? Yes, that's. I normally don't do that, but yeah, that's WASD right here now. And nothing with the arrow keys currently set up. So yeah, if you want to do that, and you can, I'm mouse scrolling out here, and then now I'm WASDing again. Everyone, again, whether you're watching live or the episode later, this is still early access 0.7.1. The first version I was given earlier this last week was 6 point something, and there was particularly a bug with upgrading the church that they fixed and gave us a updated thing. So yeah. So yeah, I like using the mouse personally. That's just my favorite input. But yeah, you can WASD it. So it should have a lot of functionality. Okay, I don't care about that last grain. I'd rather have you guys doing something else before I forget. And that's all there. So there we go. Somebody will come in and collect. Let's see here yet. Livestock, no, we just have Once. There's the other one coming. One that we ordered. He is coming in here. You ready for your close-up? They got the ox looking a lot more natural than it did in the demo. I do have some videos up of that if you want to see the old original version. But yeah. Okay, Weaver's shop is finished. That is here. So we're going to populate you. Because we have 11 wool there and 10 wool there. So they're collecting. Right now we just have 10 sheep, but we're collecting some. There. If there's anything else you want me to show you, Long Branched, please let me know. I'm not an expert on this game, but I have been playing, you know, if you include the demo, probably about 30 or 40 hours. Okay, now also when you get to level 3 building here, it will house 2 families instead of 1. I am not sure enough from history in this part of the world whether that is a exactly what that means, whether it's just a game function or if it is a oh well, it's actually 3. Well, okay. Now also here we will upgrade to it. Some plots are big enough to put an auxiliary house on it, but here we will upgrade this to a level 2. So yeah, that may be also an auxiliary. So we got more housing for people here, more families to eat. You might want to know when you're streaming, it's better to not use edge scrolling since it's visually distracting. Kind of jumping. Other than that, you're doing well. Thank you, Long Branch. Glad to have you here. Yeah. I don't know how much is the edge scrolling versus just rumble. So I'm watching the rumble feedback here, and it is more jerky than the YouTube feedback. So I think some of this is just rumble. Holding down the center wheel of my mouse and panning around. And for the marketplace, so we have 96% of houses that are fully supplied with a variety of food. Some of them are just out here just getting one type of food. 70%, these are getting out on the edge for firewood. And clothing 100%. Yeah. Okay, let's again, I want to look. These guys are not getting. Let's come here. I don't know if this is going to help anything. Don't know if we'll get firewood up to here. Somehow easier or better. Doing it like this. Let's. Okay, what are we waiting for? We got 5 here. Yeah, and if you notice, the more heavily trafficked area of the dirt road, the sort of wider it gets. Especially if it's going off to the side. Now this one doesn't seem to go wide, but I know it gets lots of traffic, but I think it's just straight through is where this is going in and out of here, and these are going in and out of houses. So that all seems to be dynamic to the game. I've yet to see paved roads. I don't know if you up the town level more. Okay, we need, yeah, more level 2 houses. So, that's already level 2. Okay, we need dope. Okay, we need more timber. We have one person on timber duty here. So let's up it to 2. And because I'm playing around with advanced, telling it where to do it, it may have stopped just because I told it here and there's almost no trees there now because I've taken them all down. Instead of naturally just sort of wandering around and grabbing trees. These guys here, we're going to add a person here and a person here to replenish the tree supply. Do some planting. So here we are grounding flour. There we have 86 flour. We've got one family in the communal oven. Then we get upgraded here. Oh, he stopped waiting. A guide is coming. Okay. So, like, whatever was guiding him around at the time, I probably reassigned the family to do something else, like to... Well, I didn't reassign a specific family. You can get in and people micromanage, reassign family to a different workplace or something like that if you want to do so. I'm just sort of letting it naturally figure that out. And so, like, if one family had been on just sort of day labor or whatever you want to call it, and then by saying more people over here, they walked, okay, now, so the guides come with, I don't know which one of the two is the guide here, or 3. Okay, not the woman with the rock, probably be the guy with the green cap, and not the guy with the axe, I don't know. Probably the guy with the green hat. They sort of kind of slow up and get around each other here a bit. Yeah, it's definitely that guy. So the others have gone in different directions. Okay, so... Okay, Weaver's shop. Should be sending yarn back. Maybe it's all in the... Sometimes they'll send it straight to here. 6 yarn. 28 leather, 28 shoes. And let's see, if we click on here, we look at general. Their pantry has 12 hides from the goats. And here, their pantry has... Oh, no, well, their generic storage has 12 hides. So, we have hides being generated and only one person here. So, we're going to add another person there. Hopefully, most of this got done. 100%, 95%, that's pretty good. See, I don't want to keep building out here if we're not going to get fuel here. Fuel's coming down this way, so put that there. But I do want to expand. So, houses. Don't have enough wood for all of that. Do I even want all of that? I don't know if I need more big places. So we need 10 wood. We don't have 10 wood. We have to stop that until we can get more wood. Yeah, whether it's people from the storehouse, which they will, or it's people from the malt house if they like can't go and get any barley from the storehouse. They will head out over here. I do believe. I mean, I haven't checked it all, but I have definitely seen these things disappear directly to the other place. Will come out and pick up, say, barley. Now they may be okay. Well, that they've emptied that one out. That may have been a closer trek. Probably need to reassign this area a little better. Okay, we're gonna say take or work there. We're going to, well, okay. I don't need to continue to there. Play furnace, alright. I think, yeah, let's go that down. That way we will up here and up here. Still leaving us 2 for general labor. See them start to take down the trees over here. Okay, we're going to speed this up again. I think this is just too fast for me. It's at, what, 12 times. So we're going to stick to 4 times to speed through. I could readily play unless you get really bored or waiting for something at normal speed most of the time. Now over here, I've not really done too much with all of this over here. But a little bit of explaining. As the level goes up, you'll get more influence, and if you get to 1,000, you can claim another one of these areas. Or if you build up enough of the king's favor, which I've not done a lot of the diplomatic stuff here. Now, money, treasury, just takes a percentage of this, and it makes the people unhappy. So if you want to just quickly grab up like 20% of this, wait till like it's like this, 800, and then turn it off, sort of rate it periodically instead of keeping it there all the time. You could do that. And I currently don't have any royal tax to pay. So what this, my understanding, is for hiring retinue and mercenaries. As well as settling it, as well as settling in a new region. Because also, when you come to a new region, you maybe it's again we have the case of the disappearing manor house. It's still there in the game, but it's no longer displayed on this. Oh, taxes. Yeah, you can. We're gonna let's, because we have 13 months of food. We're gonna we can see here, this is percentage of surplus food that is given to the church in return for our influence. So we're gonna do this. We're just gonna go to 1%. We're gonna, instead of the 10% tithe, that's basically what it means. We're just going to do a 1%. Give a little bit of food to the church. But when you do sort of claim a new area, there's a whole money and some resources thing I think you have to pay. So that's also when you need to have personal money as opposed to general or regional wealth. You just keep sort of the defining of the different money and what it's sort of how it's used for. Okay, now we're at 13, so let's come back to here and do the sort of I'm sure a little bit off the road. What doesn't it like about this? They're all... Oh, well, now that's enough. Okay, yeah. There we go. Build that. Again, because although we do have enough actual buildings, so we only need a total of 30, I want more population. And we will try to work up on all of that. First, we'll let this get built out. Making sure these are empty. Where's this? Hidden behind the trees. Yeah. Yeah, it's empty. Okay, saving, good.
Berries, berries, bursting with flavour. Fit for a king. Don't be shy.
Keep your hearth warm and your home cozy. In all the land. Keep
Don't be
I'm
shy.
also going to add a import
Perhaps it was simply a bad berry.
one.
So these things do happen. You'll want to eat them by the bushel.
Get your daily dose of greens. Healthy and hearty.
Because this here can have stable space at 2, so that I can bring it a bit more. You really hate the M6 in War Thunder. Is that the American heavy tank of World War II you're talking about? Don't particularly like it either. Not the worst thing in the world, but yeah. Maybe there's a different M6 you're thinking of, I'm not sure. Oh, they're selling up boots. What are we doing for... Okay, oh well, over here, we got some beer there. One barrel of beer. And, oh, that's the Weaver shop. And 2 over there, so... And we have 2 malt. And we have, no, that's not the malt, that's the malt. We have 37 malt there. How much barley do we have here? Barley here. I don't know. I guess this is good enough speed. Yeah, we're getting some. You want to unlock the Sherman Jumbo? We'll play more. All it takes is playing. Even if you're bad, you'll eventually unlock it. I don't necessarily think you're bad, but I'm just saying it just takes time. Okay, so we got these guys. Hopefully that's close enough to have road access. I don't know for sure, but... Let's come over here, and we could expand the living space. We're just going to upgrade it that way and upgrade it that way.
Well, perhaps it was simply a bad bet. These things do happen from time to time. Leather!
Yep, Arno, I'm really enjoying this.
Well, perhaps it was simply a bad bet. Keep your heart.
Now I know I will like it more once we get the combat and military aspect. But I really want to lock down my understanding first. And from playing the game, I really believe that it is best to understand the economy before trying to play war with it. And hello, Extreme Finger. Yes, I know your other name. I wish that the game combat would be its own thing. Well, you've already got some. I mean, it's turn-based, but I love Field of Glory 2 Medieval. That is a very, very good. Again, yes, it's turn-based. It's sort of simulating miniatures, miniature tabletop wargaming. and doing very, very well. I mean, that's what it's designed, because it's based off of the closely following the rules of a tabletop game. So that's what it's designed to do, and it's not being designed to do different.
Feast your eyes on our fine selection.
So that I have yet to play. I've seen some video footage of it, but I've yet to personally play a combat game with this. I don't know that it's anything special. So I don't know if you were to break it out into its own, its own sort of just war game without having to worry about the economy, if it would be nearly as interesting. The 6 has its merits used properly, but I agree with Sherman. Yeah, Sherman Jumbo has better armor. Hello, Rumble Condor. How you doing? It's all fun and games until the plague comes. Yes. You like Battle for Wentworth? I'm going through the achievements now. I don't know that game. Wensnoth. Good to see you over there, Rumble Condor. Condors are very big birds. Yeah, and actually, I mean, they don't go into this. This game is just set in Franconia in the 15th century, so 1400s. And you start out with just a small camp of people. This one started out over here, but it's sort of randomly located. Small camp of people. And you really wouldn't normally just expand into an area with nothing. Normally there would be something. But I understand with the game that instead of having a sort of, small community and your job is to expand it or something, you're getting a blank slate, if you will, to do your own city planning. I get that. But also, in a way, if you were to look a little bit earlier, I mean, it did happen some later. But yes, when the plague came along, there were, and I know English history better, but there were whole areas that, okay, before I do this, I want to see how many more I need. Okay, I need 2 more. Whole areas that just lost everything, and basically all the buildings just become ruin and collapse and whatnot. So coming back into an area, 50 years later or something with just nothing there, that would be realistic, but probably not Franconia in the 15th century. But I'm not exactly sure of the region. If it was multiplayer and just combat, I would find it fun, but maybe scenario creator, because I see that the combat is a good pace, I would say. Yeah, I know from the posts, I mean, I've had a little interaction with the developer for the game. But from the posts that he's done, this is meant to be a sort of the idea of being a Manor Lord, and not just a combat game or something similar. So grow your army, have deal with, because again, I'm just playing the economic scenario to really get that down in my head. Maybe next stream. Hello, Elizabeth. 331. How you doing? I'm doing good. So because the economy is very much part of it, but there is, again, you can have your manor, you can do the castle planner, hire mercenaries, train your local local populace to be soldiers, deal with raiders, bandits, deal with other rebel manor lords that you have to defeat and conquer. So there's a lot you can do, sort of that idea. So a little I don't really think there, at least I haven't seen any signs of it yet in the game, in the sense of yeah, I don't know if these are even populated yet. Nope, not yet. Okay, let's pause this here. Uh, of a like an Anno um, game, and I know there's various versions. I've only played one. Periodically, someone will have a problem, like, "Hey, can you help me find my missing pigs or sheeps or something?" So you sort of search the town map, and you sort of click on them, and designate them to go to wherever or whatever. And I could really see the idea of, once you have this game, I mean, because if you play this slow plus pausing, you could really get into, because yes, you sort of have, no, the granary, but you have Agnes. See, Agnes has been a problem for me. If this is the if this is the Agnes that's from this house, we can see. I think this may be the Agnes. Agnes. No, it's not that Agnes. It's a different Agnes. This Agnes has been a problem for me. But if you had this set up to where, like, oh, you know, she needs to, get a dowry, or whatever, or there's families wanting more housing, and so if you were presented as the Lord of the Manor with problems to solve, as well as oh, hey, yeah, we found a new, copper ore over here. Do you want to start mining copper? Or, hey, you've got your sort of retinue and an army, but hey, there's this another, because you're a more manor lord, as opposed to, like one below with, sort of knights that might have, again, different regions, different medieval settings, but you really could have, depends on what level the lord is. You could very well have a lord living up on, I'm sort of going up here because this is where I built the manor. Again, those watching now, for some reason, again, we're at a very early version. This is still here in the game, but it's no longer draws in for me as being the house, the actual physical building, but it's still here functionally in the game. So I don't know. It did originally show up there on the map and created, and then after I saved and returned, it just never showed back up. But yeah, so and you could, Manor Lord would be set up, and he would be the Lord of the Manor. But then a knight might be granted, oh, hey, a bit of parcel over here, and have a few, peasants, tenants, whatever, like 3 or 4 families to work his sort of sub area off from the actual Manor Lord. And so you may have a new, got a knight who either is newly, knighted, or somebody who, for whatever reason, needs to leave his other lord. And do you want to have this benefit of this new knight and his couple of foot soldiers and whatnot, and family show up and be on there, and you may be going, well, why didn't it work out with the last guy? Is he going to be trouble, or was the last manor lord making bad decisions, heavy taxes, or whatever it is? Um, and so you could really add in that sort of personal play element to this game that would really, really make it take off. But that's another whole thing that could be added. But right now they're doing great. I'm just sort of not speculating. I'm just sort of saying that, yeah, this would be nice additions. But right, okay. So we're coming up. We have, because it's right now March, so we're going to get ready for planting season. That's one of the reasons I stopped this. We still have a little barley to work over from last year. That's going to be coming up, and we have 6 families. Okay. Livestock trading post. And we have 2 there. Right. Let's try to figure this out here. Ahead. We don't have enough tavern supply, and I don't know how much of it. Well, right now that pantry is. So I think no, it's not this one. It's this one. The brewery is not getting enough. Well, it okay, it's maybe it's just not producing enough, or maybe we're not having enough people here going and carrying and fetching them. But either way, I think we're going to add another backyard extension for the brewery. Now, when we do this, because you can see here the families, once this house becomes artisans, like it says here, locking them from being assigned to other jobs. So they will stay here as brewers. So we don't need lots of them, but unless, I don't know, maybe we're trying to sell a lot of beer or something. So we will get that going there. Yeah. We built these guys here. Still no family in that house. Family there. Just don't know how many. Yeah, family there. Okay. Yeah, unassigned and. Okay, so just one more house. Get just seeing what. The moment we will up that. Come over here. Okay, we have a lot of extra roof tiles. We got so many, I'm going to shut down the clay furnace. So I want to sell them, but we are not having enough customers as it is for this. And or we don't have enough people maybe picking it up. So I guess we can increase the number of households working on this. We're not selling any of that. We are selling berries, but we put it at a threshold of 300 because I do want to also sell. Got eggs if we get over 35. Oh, we now have apples. Do we now have apples? Not there. Do we have apples? Yeah, we've got apples here. Nobody's coming and getting them. Let's get this granary. Nope. Don't know why nobody's coming and getting them. I don't know.
Summer's coming soon. Soon the beaten sun.
Right. Okay. So, sheep farm. I don't know that we need to keep him there. We're going to add a flatwing stick there. And okay, well actually we don't need as many more as we have. Okay, well. Let's see what we can do here. While we have this, okay. We need more lumber.
Why do I have to carry
Logging
this
camp.
Leather.
Okay, I think this is more of an area. Now, I can turn off clear what work area is if I don't want to continue to micromanage this. I might do that, but let's put it right there for now so that they come back and we'll hopefully gather more. More trees, more logs, more whatever. don't think we need to have him do that anymore. I think we have enough. We have 147
You'll not find
and
finer
74.
bread anywhere else.
No. Bags of wheat, or I mean of flour. I think that's what you would. Sacks of flour, maybe? Flour sacks. Okay, now also let's pause this as well. Let's take a look at the. Okay, so this is 26% barley, so we are going to do barley. That's pretty low fertility, but it is at least something. Up here, yes, we're also going to do that. Those are sort of two of our sort of more. Now here we're going to do rye, 56. Now here, rye seems to not exhaust the earth at all. I think we're just going to do similar wheat can be processed to grain, however it is more resilient and therefore can be grown in more areas, yes. So we're going to do all of that in rye. Hope the town likes rye bread.
Keep your hearth warm and your home cozy.
Bursting with flavour, fit for a king.
Okay, that's not yet done with construction. Now over here, what we will come here with advance, and we will add a livestock to that, which will take one of our. You guys finish, come on.
Cheated him? Never. Perhaps he's
Don't be shy, good sirs and ladies. Come all. Feast your eyes on our fine selection.
Farmhouse upgrade. Okay, and we will also come here and add that. So, okay, so I think we can start. So let's do that. I think we have lots of bread here. Yes, 6 bread. That's not lots, but that's some. So you see this one guy out here plowing with that. Let's see. That is plowing there. Dietz is plowing somewhere. Oh, plowing over here. Okay.
Don't be shy, good sirs and ladies.
It looks like he's more wandering across the field. Hello, Ilug. Yes, early access is nice. And yes, I did suck up to the developer a lot to get the game early, because I'm a rather small YouTuber. But I feel very fortunate that for the size of a YouTuber that I am, streamer, whatever, that I was able to get an early access to the game. So yeah,
Don't be shy, good sirs and ladies.
if you notice, a lot of the people that have it, that are playing, at least, there are much, like, they got like, I don't know, 30, 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, where I've got like, hi, I got 6,000 over here, in the corner. But yeah, I'm really happy to have this. But you guys can get it in about 2 weeks. And if you're interested in this type of thing, so far it's really good. And it will still be a considered early access or whatever to the game once it's put out there to the public as well. It won't be final version, whatever, I think what you're going to get is going to be very similar to what I have here.
Poor quality, he said. Impossible.
Yeah, and realize most of this work is all done by one guy, is my understanding. Not by a team, not by a bunch of people. He's designed all these buildings, a lot of these people. I know he's gotten some professional help to animate some of this stuff, figuring out, making the models. Especially if you look at the, if you want to take a look at one of my earlier videos of the demo version, how these sort of hopped around or whatever, the oxen. And so things are running a little more smoothly. You can see this guy. He's like a trader, I believe, here. Yeah, let's see if I can get there. Okay, maybe, she's working for the trade thing there, but he may be a wandering trader. I don't know. Heading off with his backpack and things. And from talking to the developer, he very much wants to keep these things all looking very realistic, costume-wise, building-wise, to the period. Sure, because we have here, and I don't know whether it, where is it? Oh, it's over here. It depends on, I can remember where I built it. No, more this way. Here, Weaver's Shop. Okay. Now this Weaver's Shop produces, maybe it's best if I come here to get the details. It's in production here. Weaver Shop, it work wool to produce yarn, flax to produce linen. Well, okay. And linen here does look like, and it is a cloth. Yarn. Okay, I know the middle of the 18th century. Well, to some degree, the 17th century. Oh, just yet. 17th and into the 18th century better than I know the Middle Ages. In the poor parts of the Highlands and Scotland in the 17th and 18th century, they collected wool like we're doing here from sheep. They sheared the sheep. I've also seen people take literally the sheep shear, because it sort of comes off in one piece. And then they work at, because I knew a person who did experimental archaeology, was their term, in that they did all of the process, the dyeing, everything, as much as they could do it historically. And so rather one of the world's experts on it. I knew her. Actually, her and her husband really worked with the stuff and would make clothing out of sheep wool. So you get, buy a, I forget what it was called, basically the fleece, and turn it into finished tartan cloth, including the dyeing, and everything else. So there was two basic ways to get the yarn, the thread, if you will. One that was sort of the most common was a drop spindle. A drop spindle is a thing that's less than a foot long. It's a basically a stick with a round piece of wood on one end. Sort of, and you sort of use it sort of like an upside down lollipop or whatever. And you sort of pick it up and let it drop and spin as it goes down, and so it will create the thread. And that is a very, very slow way to make thread. You can do it. They did it for hundreds or thousands of years that way. It probably goes back to well before Rome, the drop spindle. Is this not? Okay, they got 27 in storage. Hey, do we have none here? I don't know. I don't know why we don't have any. It does not seem to be getting to market. That may be a bug. I don't know. How many do we have here? This is not as old a... I know I've interrupted myself. 17. Yeah, there's something wrong here. It's not getting to the market because I've yet to see any apples in the market. You can see the variety. So, and I don't know what's going on with that. So the other is a spinning wheel. And this, we're talking pre-industrial world, which is the medieval world here. From Spinning Rants. Did you play Headquarters? No, I haven't yet. I got the copy of this game, and it took me off of Headquarters and into this. So, yeah. And so you had the spinning wheels. And spinning wheels, not every peasant was going to afford a spinning wheel, shall we put it that way. And a lot of that was not done at something that would be called a weaver's shop. Because it was still done sort of in the home. And they were producing it. Now, a very simplistic loom could be made by just a few pieces of wood. But a more, not even powered, but sort of foot-powered loom with a proper shuttles going back and forth, like what we might think of. And again, I've known another guy in Scotland who had one of those, or he had a bunch of them in his attic. I mean, his attic was very large, and he had a bunch set up to be able to use. He only used one at a time, but a bunch set up to be used. So, hello, Zoneg? Zonbig? I don't know how to pronounce that, but hello, good to have you here. And it very much was, a loom, because you can have a basic sort of loom that is just a almost 4 pieces of wood hooked together that you string the vertical strings out pre-done, and then you just go back and forth with a hand thing and sort of compact it down and work that up. But if you're talking one of these bigger things with shuttles going back and forth properly and alternating with your foot and blah, 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 a lot of that stuff, that would be a weaver's shop, because that is now at least for the time period, an industrialized piece of equipment, and that would be producing cloth, not the yarn. So I get that a lot of that would be done in a small village like this, because this is still a small village, without a dedicated shop. Probably much more like this cobbler's home or this brewery set up here. So that's how I say it would be done. Yes, these weaver shops or spinners shops, I don't know if they would define that as something different, would definitely have existed, but more in the towns, walled places. This is as we're sort of moving towards. Croatian name. Sorry, well, my Anglo-Saxon tongue I might be able to pronounce it if I heard it properly. Well, maybe not properly, but recognizably if I heard it. But yeah, good to have you here. Great to have somebody from Croatia. And so, yeah, I mean, so some of this has to be gamified. And I get that. But this is really looking to be a rather good simulation of the medieval world. Did you? No, I have not watched it. I am aware of it. I mean that it exists. I don't know if it's any good. Okay. I will right now admit I've never played a Fallout game. I just never have. Not that I wouldn't want to, but I just never really taken the opportunity or whatever to do so. So I've seen a little bit of gameplay of, I don't know, 76 or whatever, one of the Fallouts. And it looks like it could be good as a game. So I really don't have a point of comparison for the story or the world or whatever to the game. If I get enough recommendations that the series is good, I very well may watch it. It doesn't have to be, a one-for-one simulation of... I want to pause this here. Of the game to mean that it's good or bad. I'm just personally worried about everything being too woke nowadays. Too problematical. I hate the word problematical. Problematic. It's either a problem or it isn't. Problematic is this modern speak for bullshit. But okay, so I don't see. Well, see, I was wondering if there was a just sort of explain my thoughts here. You can come here, and on trade, you can say, okay, export berries, but keep a minimum surplus, which surplus will be, again, as far as I understand from playing this game, either something like in the large warehouse or the granaries, I mean, large or smaller standard warehouse, or we also need to, we're into May here and it's growing, okay. Or something over here in a, like forager's hut. If it gets to here, and we can see like 33 berries, I think this is no longer counted as surplus, I think. Yes, and some of this stuff is still very much an I think. Okay, we are going to go hard now on trying to grab up berries. We've got that sort of kind of full. Malt house, we're going to keep that in operation. Okay, furnace we've shut down. Forester, we're going to go down to one person per forestry house. So this way we can come here and go this. Two, and the reason, again, I know some have been around, but not necessarily everybody has. The reason I did three buildings, and I'm currently putting two, and I may put a few more into here, is while this is growing, in the growing season, you can plunder it, and it'll resupply. So long as that green triangle is pointing up there, it'll resupply. So that is a very real factor. Let's shut down that. I want to, yeah, let's. But if you fill up all of these to 4, I found that, no, I don't want to do that. I found that you'll fill them up and they'll end up spending a lot of time wandering back and forth, and the goods will get spoiled. If you're not familiar with Fallout universe, you will probably not enjoy it so much. Well, okay, I don't know. So does that mean it's not very good? And it's just full of member berries? Is that what you're trying to say? Because if it's good, if you've never watched or played anything Star Wars and you watch Star Wars for the first time, it's still good. So a good story is a good story. If it's just like, oh, I remember that from the game. Yeah, we'll do that. So I don't know if that, because I can enjoy a good apocalyptic. With the post is saying apocalyptic. I'm butchering that game. Post-apocalypse game, or series. TV, movies, whatever, on its own. It doesn't need to be associated with. Okay, we'll also reduce that down. I want to make sure that we get everything sort of sewed, because we're still sewing here. Okay, we just finished sewing here. I don't want to force early harvest at the moment, so we'll uncheck anything that has that. This needs to be sewed out here. Hopefully the people will have it over there. To the best of my understanding, these buildings aren't tied to a particular field. Hello, logistics man. Movies and shows that come after video games usually are known for replicating the game characters, but they are not for only the people who have played and enjoyed them. Well, see, I take the idea, because it used to be, you look at, probably most of you never even heard of this, but the movie Gone with the Wind. Well, it comes from a novel called Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. So, and I've never read the novel, and I love the movie. Not that I wouldn't like reading the novel, it's just I haven't. And so, many movies, traditionally, not maybe most, but many movies, used to come from novels. And then, of course, later on you got comic book coming in, and now you can easily have a game. Because if you were to take, like the original Baldur's Gate, particularly Baldur's Gate 1, the game, turned out that'd make it, the storyline would make a great movie. Now you need to write it, you need to get some good writers to write it like a movie instead of like a video game. But there's a lot of cool encounters, and there's a lot of, cool adventure going on that could readily translate well into game mode. Star Wars was a movie first. Yeah, in the sense, Star Wars is a remake of Hidden Castle, which was a movie by Akira Kurosawa. Well, not entirely. It's based loosely on the Hidden Castle by Akira Kurosawa, the Japanese director. I don't know if he wrote it or not right offhand. Which Lucas has seen all of Akira Kurosawa's. I'm butchering that name too. I need more to drink here. Movies. I know for a fact. His most famous one is The Seven Samurai. But yeah, so the basic plot line of Star Wars is taken from another movie.
Come on, laddie. Come on.
Movies and books are rarely identical. But it's a different art form. And series are a different art form than movies. And I will disagree with one person who I do respect, who works in the movie or has worked in the movie industry. He thinks, you got to hook them right from the beginning and get everyone hooked and blah, blah, blah for a series. No, I think a good series can have one or two, and I know a lot of people give up on things, and maybe he's right, but I think it can have one or two, and he's actually following a pattern pretty well here. I'm just watching this. One or two episodes that should be good. It shouldn't be bad, but are just setting the scene. The world, the whatever. Getting the characters introduced, getting the baseline of what the world, like let's take a what the daily life is like in a post-apocalyptic apocalyptic world. Boy, I'm having trouble with that word today. World, and what's it like? What's life like that? And then start the adventure off. Episode by episode 3. But you would never, whether it's a 12 episode or a indeterminate number of episodes, by episode 3 you should really be often and with good stories and everything else. You've sort of established, whether it's the world or the characters or whatever, you've got an establishment. With a movie, see, pantry forward is full here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reduce that down by 1. And it's going to keep growing back while it's in the growing phase. It keeps growing back. And we're going to come over here and, well, let's see, how many do we have here? We're going to increase that by 1. So hopefully, oh, no, not the weaver. Keep clicking the granary. Hopefully have some of them go collect some of the good ones. So yeah, so a series is a different art form than a movie. A movie needs to be self-contained, should be at least 90 minutes long, no longer than 3 hours. Anything more than 3 hours, you should really part it up more, find a middle point. Because a really good trilogy that is long, but it is great, is Lord of the Rings. Not The Hobbit. The Hobbit was taking because I actually think the original cartoon version of The Hobbit is better than the trilogy Hobbit. But you can probably take that trilogy Hobbit and bring it down to one 2 hour or 2 hour and 15-minute movie, edit it down, and have a really great movie. You could probably do that. Not just because there's multiple types of editing. Some editing is editing camera angles, that kind of editing. Some of it editing is sort of like a book editing, and cutting the story, the plot line, getting rid of scenes and things. So I'm talking more the plot line scene editing than camera angles and where do you cut, because often they shoot things different close-ups, different medium shots, and they have all that to select from, and when they edit it. But I'm talking editing in the story sense. Edit it down, and you probably have a really great, maybe a longish movie, but one really great Hobbit out of all that mess, and truly be great. The Hobbit cartoon, magical Hobbit trilogy, lackluster. Yes. Hello, Afonzia. I guess that's how you pronounce it. And so yeah, no, they did the stretch, and I don't know quite why. I don't pay enough attention. They may have said why they did the stretch the, is it just money or whatever? Okay, let's pause this here, or whatever that they stretched out. Okay, so we got that just all growing. That's all growing. That's all growing, and that's still okay. And he's plowing, so. Okay, so see, I've not yet, until right just sort of now, had a oxen here to plow. So when you're having an oxen to plow, it's just going to use one person, and he's going to plow. Instead of having a horde of people coming to the field and hand plowing it up. So that's good to know. I needed to know that. And that's one of the things I wanted to figure out here. Let's see, yes. You always said you can't compare books to movies directly. It's like an oil painting of landscape. Yeah, and so long as they're really working from the book, like I say, it's a different. And you could love the book and still dislike the movie. It's not like you have to do something like it's a law, but you don't. The movie doesn't have to be the book. But I really. Rarely. I mean, I could maybe think of one or two cases in Hollywood history, but mostly the movie's going to fail if they just sort of use the title. Sometimes that's almost all that they do, the title and maybe some of the character names, and make a completely different thing than the book. And that might work out if you truly have a genius plan guy that just sort of likes the quote unquote hook in the title and the theme of the book, whatever it is, and it bears little resemblance to the movie bears little resemblance to the book. it can be done, but mostly it's going to fail, I think. But if you do a good job in redoing it, so like one series that would be, I think, cheap to do nowadays would be the Lost Fleet series. It's a science fiction. The original, because it's gone and sort of expanded universe, if you will, continued other stories and other novels. But originally, it was a 5-book series and plotted out and designed to be that. And that could be turned into, I think, a great series. And I think it would do better as a series than, say, 5 movies. Because, and it'd be cheap to do, because most of it would just be on the bridge of some ships, and the only real expensive bit, unless you're getting expensive actors or something, the only expensive bit would be the CGI for the space battles. And however expensive that would be, it would just be that expensive, because there are a bunch of space battles. But otherwise, it would be fairly cheap to do. You just, quite honestly, a lot of the scenery can just be reused, because it'd be on several different ships, but of similar or the same type. And so the corridor, even if it's a different, one time you're on a battleship, another time you're on a destroyer, well, that doesn't necessarily matter if all the corridors and the ships look the same. So that you just, a few sets, a few different uniform types and whatnot, and just go. It would be really easy to shoot. And it would be, I think, a cheap to make, really great. Yeah, and it's basically the March of the 10,000 or Anabasis, Xenophon's work. Xenophon's work is out of copyright, so you can use it. And it's basically that set in space. If you know what I'm talking about, maybe you guys do. Some of my viewers are well read and know things, but I gotta scroll up here and read all this text here. I'm going to compare the book. Yes, directly. I'm sure when you planned out The Hobbit, figured 3 movies were just another money farm. Yeah, it could be just another money farm. Did Peter Jackson really need the money? I don't know, because he did. I mean, Lord of the Rings trilogy is a masterpiece, and he did a masterpiece there. First came out and watched the movie, and totally different things. Yeah, both individually fun. Let's see. Or the boys are coming. Okay, don't know that one. Same for The Walking Dead. Yeah, I haven't watched The Walking Dead. I'm not interested in horror stuff that much. Zombies or whatever. Lost Fleet. Oh, you've watched read The Lost Fleet? Yes. Jack Campbell's. I've read all the stuff. I've got his latest anthology. Yep, I've watched all it. In hard sci-fi style of The Expanse. Yeah, that would work. Yeah. Well, hey, Afonzia, you're new around here. You can give the channel a follow. Good to have you here. I stream mostly to everybody on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. Normally it's Hearts of Iron on Saturdays and War Thunder on Sundays, but we're doing a little different here with Manor Lords, and I don't know what we're doing next week. And you can also check out my YouTube channel. Maybe Arno will, over on Twitch, drop in a link to the YouTube channel where I post all my videos doing historical stuff. It's more historical than the nerdy sci-fi, but I do like that. And of course, the other great series that I'm always waiting for is David Weber's Honor Harrington stuff. World, because the latest thing was a Stephanie Harrington Tree Cat novel that he collaborated with. I forget the name of the author that she doing that, but yeah, that's another thing. You might enjoy The Walking Dead, comic, zombie horror. I'm just not going to invest my time in it. It may be sort of on the cusp of not being, because the real horror that I hate is sort of slasher horror. I like the old like Dracula's and Frankenstein's well enough. I mean, I don't like consume huge numbers of it, but come around October and Halloween, I will watch that. And I do like Bram Stoker's Dracula, that movie, because it was done in the original sort of style, yes, updated with color film and all that, but and done very well. So it's not that it's just black and white, but that sort of stuff. I like that. I enjoyed that, but I'm just not a big horror fan, so I've just given the whole series a pass. I also think some of it is maybe a little too zombies. Horror movies often, in a weird way, reflect modern day fears. And I think a lot of people, if they may not really understand, the average person out there maybe not really understand, but I think they're really afraid of zombies. And this is why the whole I don't want to get this thing demonetized. The recent mass hysteria that we had a few years ago on this planet concerning a particular disease is sort of a zombie-like thing. Is, a walking, somebody who's like, if you're all sick with the plague or whatever, you're just a walking dead and spreading it. I think there's a lot of people that have this fear in them right now. I really think so. And so it's not like a dead person is going to get up and walk around, but a contagion, whatever. I know I'm going too far down the rabbit hole already for YouTube, but so we won't go much further than this. But I think it talks to a modern day fear, and so yeah, I get why that's popular, and it's sort of a zeitgeist therapy, if you will, through something like a series like that. And so I get why it's popular. I get survival themes. One thing you okay, how do I put this? I forget the author. One of the sci-fi authors from the publishes through Bean Publishing a while ago. I don't know, 5-10 years ago, wrote a book. Why did I say movie? Wrote a book about a part of it was, at least the first 2/3 was a well written book. The last third was just sort of like he gave up on it and just sort of lumped all the sort of end stuff together just to sort of complete the story without doing a proper continuation. So I didn't like the last third of the book, but it was about a military unit. Well, about again a big plague thing happening, and a military military unit stuck in the Middle East, and they're sort of Anabasis, trying to get out of it. And then sort of talks a little bit about what's happened in the U.S. One thing that if we were to have something, with Hollywood, and it's one of my pet peeves, why isn't somebody driving a tank around in the zombie world? Why isn't there an M1 Abrams? Why isn't there some Bradleys? Why aren't there some MRAPs? Because yes, you people out on the streets, and I'll get to your chats in a minute, may not see all these vehicles that we have because they're all sitting around bases. But even if the army gets wiped out, in a zombie plague, and they're just all wandering around looking for brains, well, fine. There's other veterans and other people that know how to get these damn things started and driven around, and people are just going to go to the bases. So even if, like, in 10 minutes everybody on the base is infected with whatever, and they become zombies and mindless or something, well, other people will come all around later and pick up these vehicles. We're going to have lots of this stuff. And if you don't realize, in these other things that are set in that they're shooting bows and arrows at each other, and they're using spears and makeshift, probably wrong. But one of the UN studies out there that's been published, America has 47% of the world's guns, firearms. Okay, America, 47%. We're not anywhere near 40%, or even 50%, or even, I don't even know, are we 10% of the world's population? Because, there's huge amounts of people in Africa and India and China, let alone Europe and South America. We have about half the world's guns here, people. And trust me, there's lots of ammunition for those guns sitting all around here. We don't need no bows. We don't need no arrows. We got guns. We got more guns and ammo. We can kill all the zombies we need with guns. Because I'm presuming for the moment, at least every zombie thing I've ever heard of or seen of is that they don't use the guns themselves. They just become mindless whatever wandering around. So by the time you make bows and arrows, it would be better just to go through abandoned homes and dig out their guns and ammo. Because if they've turned into zombies or whatever, and are wandering the streets and no longer paying attention to their homes. So it's the lack of guns in these post-apocalyptic worlds and a lack of military hardware that would be around in these worlds that just Hollywood never gets. So, yeah, that's, I guess, one of my sort of pet peeves with these types of things. And let's see. Big history nerd, I do full contact armored medieval. Oh, cool. I used to do 18th century Highland Scottish reenactments, and I still have all my old gear. I haven't done it in more than 10 years, 15 years, but yeah, used to do all that. Historical silversmith that does Viking era reproduction. Well, very good. You got to learn how to pronounce your name then. Aphazia? It's fair. The Walking Dead comics great for the sociology more so than the zombie horror part. Yeah, I get that. It's not something that completely uninterests me, but it's just enough that I stay away from it. Aphazia. Okay, hopefully that's right. Aphazia. That's a whole thing that makes The Walking Dead great. They focus on the zombies and more on who is getting the resources like military vehicles and using them, and the whole is becoming corrupted by the power, etc. Phase. Okay. Aphazia. Phase. Okay. So yeah. Well, let's get back to the game here, because I do really like this game. And really, the late Middle Ages, we're getting out of a post-apocalyptic world, because that's very much how. Well, I'm enjoying the game very much so far. And again, to everybody, I am just playing the economic version because I'm trying to learn the economy of the game before I start it, because this is really a management game, not a combat game. I'm not saying the combat's bad at all. I haven't played it. I've watched some footage and it looks good, but it is not designed to be a war game. I'm to come here and downgrade that because I don't think I need him plowing anything. And he is still out here plowing, I think. So we will leave one person and one family. Hope that's the right one, or they pick the right one to continue using the plow. Okay, malt house. We're going to go back to, there's no in storage. Do we have? No, we don't have any more. I think it's in the, yeah. Okay, we don't have any more barley. So, oh, that's the clay furnace. This is the malt house. So, putting somebody in the malt house won't work. That was sort of why I waited on getting that. Do we have? Okay, that's a brewery here. General. Okay, they're out. So we've sort of, unfortunately, so I don't know if we're going to be able to upgrade. Oh, yeah, because we don't have tavern supply. That is one of the things that I've not been managing well enough, is the tavern. It's important. Making sure it has enough beer. Okay, workshop. Producing clothing, yarn 33. So what we're going to come over here and do is trading post. We're going to trade. Let's look for here. Let's look for yarn. Yarn. Okay. Let's export and let's keep 20. Just so that we have enough for our use. And we will export the excess from that. Okay. Berries, we have excess of 366. We're anything over, we're going to export. That's fine. I do want to keep 300. But mentioning that and everything, what we're going to do, come over here, is to the dyers shop, and we're going to get that going. We're also going to get this going, and we're going to come over to advance, and we're going to assign that big trumpet freeze to be where you log. Okay, those each have a person there working so far. We got 5 free families. I keep saying that because it's meant to be a family. Okay, now down here, okay, we have, let's come over here and take a look. We have no free hides there. General, no free hides there. So there is like 1 or 2 more, I think, at least 1 more there. Yeah, so somebody's been collecting all the hides and either getting, you getting them to the warehouse? No, no. Okay. I'm a little disappointed here because we have 26 now bushels of apples or whatever. And none are showing up here. Can I sell them? Let's see, 41. So, let's see if we export. We get 3. So let's see if we can go down to, say, just 30. Still have a bunch here. Maybe that'll somehow get them working better. Now out here we have all full wild animals, and we got 1 guy hunting. He'll take it down to 10, but not more than that. Okay, so that way we'll keep enough to repopulate. And out here they're going to pick off the last 31 here. Berries, we got that down. And let's put 2 people there. Person, like, okay, so that's sort of what you do with this game. Decide what you want to see in a building or building done. I think we'll add another goat shed. Okay, we have here, we need 7 more level 3 plots. Like that. Now we need tavern supply up there to get them there. And then beyond that, we need to have enough tiles, planks. Planks and lumber are the 2. Okay, lumber, got just about enough there. Planks, oh, we got 200 plus planks. So we're doing good with that. That was okay. Let's go back to. We still have a lot of people working down here. We sat down by one, but we're going to move that up there because I'm just looking at the storage.
Maybe screaming all the time wouldn't hurt.
Here.
Firewood. Firewood. Firewood.
5 months of firewood at current consumption levels, but in winter it doubles, so. Let's specify just in case. I don't know where it's specifically set to be, but that looks like a good area to go in and go wooding. Well, this is going to be late harvest, if at all. I don't know. That's just yielding 9. Well, we've got 3,000. So let's go import.
Perhaps it was simply a bad batch. These things do happen from time to time. Feast your eyes on our fine selection.
Let's say 10. I mean, keep it at 10. So it'll import, I don't know how fast, but it'll import some, and it'll keep the stock surplus at 10. So it shouldn't, like, bring in 100 or something. It should, as we need it, keep bringing in and keep filling up. To then, once we get some, we can keep the malt house operating. And then we have brewery and brewery. We have 2 breweries here that are operating to hopefully keep enough beer flowing into our tavern. Work area is empty. Oh, okay. Oh, right. Right. So they will, well, make sure we have people at the granary. Okay, they'll come and do trips from there. And they will too as time goes on. We have lots and lots of flour.
Step right up and sample.
Now that we have people, let's get baking. And one guy out over here digging clay at least. So at least by this time period, we've gotten rid of the Viking threat. This is set in the 15th century, so the Viking threat is really gone by this point. We got other threats, but the Vikings aren't really what we're concerned about. Okay, what? Really right now just wanting to upgrade houses. These, okay, oh, one person sowing. Okay, so what I need to maybe get a couple of people back here to now sow this field. With the one that was already sort of here. That was, so we've got it. Flat, but not sowed.
Bring this here, move that there.
At least this, I haven't really investigated. Oh, Okay, I think it's army here. Okay, this could be ready to rally, but I don't really have any weapons because I haven't been building weapons. Not sure. Now, maybe it's just in this scenario there isn't really an option to hire mercenaries. I know you can. No.
Well, perhaps it was simply a bad
Well, they have some barley, so let's turn the malt house on.
bread, freshly baked, still warm from the oven.
Right now, I don't feel the need to expand anything
These things do happen from
like
time to time.
more buildings. I just need to upgrade here. Yeah, they're slowly, but whatever. Sowing that large field up there, and that is a large field for this game.
Feast your eyes on our fine
Keep 3 wool there. No wool there. Weavers, no, yeah, okay, so.
You'll not find finer wares anywhere else.
Firewood, berries, bursting with flavour and fit for a king.
Poor quality, he said. What's in them?
Cheated him? Never. Perhaps he simply does not know how to cook properly.
Cheated him? Never. Perhaps he simply does not know.
Okay, well, let's see. Now we're getting into August. We're going to have to switch back to
Keep your hearth warm and your home cozy.
this. We may get enough growing out of it. I don't know. That maybe just need a larger population to do that. Though. Those are all rye. Those more than enough. Because we haven't even dealt with
Berries, bursting with
the
flavour.
flour.
Fit for a king. Poor quality.
Here, we
Stone
could
one possible.
selling something like
Feast your
flour
eyes
or
on our
particularly
fine
bread.
fish.
Bread, freshly baked and still warm from the oven.
Does better than just selling the.
You'll not find finer wares
Vegetables
anywhere
so
else.
fresh, you'll swear they was picked this very morning.
I think we're done with the
Bread,
flour.
freshly baked, still warm
Making
from
it,
the
that
oven.
is.
You want to eat them by the bushel. Don't be shy, good sirs and ladies. Feast your eyes on.
Bring back the ox. Yeah. You don't like the lack of fuel. Okay. We've got 2 guys here. They have some wood there, but they got 300 wood there. They just, and they're at the, they got
Perhaps he simply does not know how to
They got
cook.
33 wood in the market here. Leather, yarn, and shoes in for food, and or not food, clothing, boy. And for food, well, it's berries, bread, and eggs, and a little bit of vegetables.
Don't be shy.
For some reason, are they coming and collecting apples? Not yet. I don't know that they are. I think apples are bugged. Now this guy out here, I don't know. Where is, okay, there. Okay, there's something bugged here. They don't seem to be hunting at all. So we're going to unassign them. they wander off. Hopefully we'll get somebody else out here, because they're not even getting the basics of the animals. Let's see here. 41%. We're just still sowing this. Maybe in December we'll harvest some. I don't know. Hello, Sword and Keyboard. How you doing? This game is probably right up your alley. Swords, Middle Ages, yeah, that seems like a thing.
Step right up and sample. You'll not find finer wares anywhere else.
Okay, what is Dyer Shop? People are leaving off berries or whatever. Okay. Of the stuff I wish I knew was stream event, I would have streamed it as well. I wish I knew it was stream event. I would, yeah. Starting yesterday, they allowed I don't know how many, but a bunch of streamers slash YouTubers to start putting out videos and streaming it. So and they're gonna be coming up for sale. It's still gonna be early access, coming in about 2 weeks, I believe. So yeah, oh yeah, I've been following it too, long before even the demo was out. Okay, we're going to end this episode, not the live stream, but this episode here. I want to thank everyone for making it this far. I want to thank Tim, Strongarm, Niagara, Timothy, Sir Toyjet, Gary, Garrett, Marcus, Folk, and the Great Hoffmanator for their support over on Patreon. But everyone else, all I ask is, hey, if you're new around here, please subscribe to the channel. And if I've earned it, please hit that like button. And of course, it also really helps for you to post a comment. So post a comment down below. Question, tip. Got something wrong, post a correction. Love hearing from you. See you next time for more, yes, more historical gaming.